Detroit Lions. Oh, baby, 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 baby.
Yo, what is going on, everybody? My name is Nick Harkson. I'm excited to be here with you today. This is the pilot episode of Touchdown Detroit Lions over here on Syndicate Sports Detroit. How's everybody doing on this Tuesday? It is a great Tuesday if you ask me. I'm not celebrating just Victory Monday. We're going all the way into Tuesday because we had a huge win against the Jags here on Sunday, 40-14. I mean, just massive. We're allowed to celebrate a few extra days after that, unless you're the team. Get back to work if you're the team, because we got a big game coming up here this coming Sunday. But yeah, I just want to say what's up to everybody. This is my first episode live here with Syndicate Sports Detroit on our episode of Touchdown Detroit Lions. And like I said, we just had a big win on Sunday over the Jags, 40-14. I could not be happier about it. Like I said, we're celebrating all the way into Tuesday. I'm going to celebrate tomorrow. I'm going to celebrate all the way up until Sunday because we're on a roll right now. I mean, we've won 4 out of our last 5, and I know that Bills loss does hurt, especially for, some playoff implications. Playoffs. Yeah, I said it. We'll talk about that later. But, yeah, four out of our last 5 wins, and we put up a tough fight against the Bills, which we definitely could have won. But, I like the way that we're playing right now. Dan Campbell's got our guys rolling. And if you saw after that big win against the Jags in the post-game little locker room speech, Dan Campbell, this is what I loved him saying this. He said they're 1-0 in a 6-game season because he's giving them hope. We all know what can happen in these 6 games. If we go on a run, like I said, we're going to talk about that later. And Dan Campbell kind of left it at that too. He didn't really say playoffs, but he said, I'm going to leave it at that. Just kind of hinted at it and walked out. But I love that. I love that message to the team. But yeah, like I said, before we talk playoffs and whatnot, we're going to talk some players, rookies. I'm going to get into these comments. I'm going to see what's going on with everybody. What's going on, Michelle, AP? Yes, we got the Lions riding high. Let's get right into this. Big game on Sunday. Goff, huge game. Goff had a huge game. And I know a lot of us were writing off Goff, early on in the season, all the way through the season, up until last season. But now he's once again nominated for the FedEx the FedEx Player of the Week through the air. But yeah, he had a huge game. I mean, the guy went 31 for 41 passing, 340 passing yards and 2 touchdowns with 115.9 passer rating. That's great. Can't hate on the guy this week. Amon-Ra St. Brown also had another huge game, 2-touchdown game. The guy is a beast. I love the Sun God, one of my favorite players. He's an absolute steal in the draft, and he'll let you know, as we all know. Shark had a big game against his old team. We're going to touch on Shark a little bit more, but Jamal with another touchdown. The guy's a touchdown machine. He just has a nose for the end zone. And then Swifty had a good game. 62 rushing yards, not the greatest. He did have, I think, 40 some receiving yards, and he had a touchdown as well. A lot more productive than he has been in the past, but let's touch on this right now. Now that we're here, there's been a lot of talk throughout the Lions Twitter and just Lions media in general that, people want to trade DeAndre Swift. And he's been hurt. He's been hurt a ton. If he would stay healthy, he is a force to reckon with out on that field. But after this game, coming back, he looked better. What do you guys think? Do you guys think we still trade Swift? Because he does have, a little bit of time left on his contract. Or do we keep the duo between Swift and Jamal? I want to hear you guys sound off here in the comments. Let me know what you think about keeping Swift. I personally, if he can finish out the season strong and prove to us that he can stay healthy and be productive like he was this last game and at the beginning of the season, I don't see any reason to trade him. Just let him play out his contract and see what happens. I do think that we do need to extend Jamal at least for another year. I mean, the guy has had a career year with us, and those two together, they're a 1-2 punch. Like Dan Campbell says, Jamal's kind of the hammer. Swift, he's that Swifty running back. He's going to juke you out of your shoes, but he just hasn't been playing as good ever since he got injured at the beginning of the season. But I'm telling you, man, that promise that he showed at the very beginning, if he could show that and not get injured, that guy could be a top running back. But the problem is the injuries. So do we trade him? I'm going to say right here, Michelle Peterson, we shouldn't trade him because what if Jamal gets hurt? You're right. I mean, we got a few other running backs, but Justin Jackson, he's not going to be a solid running back to hop in and fill in for Swift. I mean, he's been all right this year. I appreciate his work, but he's definitely not an RB1 like Swift can be. We got David saying keep Swift. I agree with you. And you know what? Let's move on to another player about if we're going to keep him or not. DJ Shark. Shark's been hurt all year. Shark was not that productive at the beginning of the year. I mean, he had a few touchdowns. He showed some promises here and there, but he has been hurt the majority of the year. He's on a 1-year contract. He had a great game last week, and he had a pretty good game the week before. Do we re-sign Shark? Let me know what you think. Personally, what I think, we gave Josh Reynolds an extension, and he's had a few good games. He had that one good game that was he did pretty good for me on my fantasy team as well. But since then, he hasn't done anything. He's kind of been injured as well. And if it were me, I would personally, you can keep Reynolds, but I would push him to the side for Shark now. I would put Shark up there with Amon-Ra, and then, next year we're going to have J-Mo going full steam ahead. J-Mo's going to go full steam ahead starting next week, I think. I'm excited for J-Mo to come out and them actually use him. But what do you guys think? You think Shark should get signed to another year? Do you think we just move on? It's J-Mo time. Work with what we got. Maybe have Josh Reynolds step it up again next year. I'm going to look into the comments, see what we got here. It depends on how he plays the rest of the year. I agree. David, once again, keep Shark if he's willing to take another cheap deal. I completely agree with that. It's got to be the right deal. If he's looking for big numbers, we got to let him walk. I don't think he's proven that he deserves a big contract yet. And in his, the post-game speech inside the locker room, it kind of seems like he's happy to be with the guys. It looks like he's found a new home here in Detroit. And him and Goff are really clicking now. So, I think it'd be worth it to sign Shark to another, maybe another year, 2 years, but something cheap. But something cheap for sure. All right, guys. I'm going to take a drink of water real quick. I really having a lot of fun with you guys so far. But let's get right into rookie talk. Everybody was excited for Jameson Williams, including myself. I made a post about it. I called my brother about it. I told everybody, I was like, yo, J-Mo's coming back. He's going to have a huge game. They just put it on the Jags last minute. They're not even ready for it. Well, he came out and played as a decoy. Whatever. Dan Campbell said it was about him getting his feet wet. He got one pass to him. I don't think he really had a great chance at getting that. But, I like them working him in, getting his feet wet. But a thing that I want to touch on, and this is absolutely crazy to me. Now, I know he was good at this in college, and he loves to do it. And J-Mo loves the game of football. But we should not be putting our 12th overall rookie wide receiver coming off of an ACL injury out on the punt team as a gunner. I said it. He should not be playing gunner, especially your first game back coming off of an injury like that. I know in college he was great at it. He had fun with it. He got down there quick. But he's a rookie. The 12th overall pick in the draft. A wide receiver. And he's not that big. You're going to go send him down there and try to tackle these big monster NFL guys? Now, I know a lot of the return guys aren't huge. But Jameson Williams, no disrespect, he looked really little out there. He should not be running down being a gunner on his first game back. What do you guys think about that? I'm looking at the comments. Let's see. No. It's just insane. Nobody's commenting on that. I think you guys agree. That was just wild to me. Dan Campbell, he's doing good. He's had a few mismanaged games. He makes some bonehead mistakes, and this is one of them. He is definitely a football player in his past. He's definitely not thinking all the time up there. And I love that J-Mo loves football, and I love that he wants to go down there and make a tackle. But do not put your 12th overall pick, who's coming off of an ACL injury, who's a wide receiver, at gunner. That's just all I got to say about that. Okay, Luke, I see your comment right here. First touchdown to J-Mo against the Vikings. I love it. I think they need to put him in way more packages this week. They need to utilize him, just get him some touches. Put him out on the screen, a little bubble pass. But I agree. I hope that the first touchdown is to J-Mo this week. That would be amazing. Just get his feet wet. Get him going. That's the way to get the feet wet. You throw him the ball. You get him a touchdown. All right. The Derm, we're talking about some rookies right now. Specifically Jameson Williams. But let's get into some other rookies. Houston, we have a problem. That guy is a beast. Second game out. Got his third sack. My God. Hutch got another sack or a half a sack. We got something special there. If Houston can stay producing like he is, and Hutch is out there wrecking havoc, and then if Pascal can come back healthy, and Aleem McNeil can wreck havoc, man, we got some promise here in the future. But Houston and Hutch on the ends, oh my goodness. I'm getting excited. I think he's going to get another sack this week. And this just proves that Brad Holmes hits at draft picks. Hit after hit after hit after hit. I mean, I don't think that there was we can go down the draft picks this year. And I mean, some of them haven't played too much, but I think they're all going to be hits. Hutch, definitely not a bust. We were all talking about him busting early on. I wasn't. I always believed in Hutch. I believed in Hutch. But a lot of us were talking about him busting. He is not a bust. We got Kirby Joseph. That's a third-round pick. Kirby's a beast. Rodrigo, late-round, fifth-round pick. My God, the guy's a beast. Houston's starting to shine. If Pascal can stay healthy, Pascal, I think, can be good for us as well. Now, J-Mo, he's just coming back. But if he plays up to his potential and the hype, we hit on every single draft pick. Chase Lucas even, he's our last pick. That guy was showing promise when he was out there playing. I mean, he could have sealed the deal for us in the first game against Minnesota, and he dropped that pick. But you know what? He's looking good for the last pick of the draft this year. What do you guys think about Brad Holmes? I think as far as draft-wise goes, the guy knows what he's doing. Little skeptical on some of the free agent picks that he's got in the last few years, but not really. I mean, we had to do what we had to do with what money we had. And, bringing in Shark didn't help out a lot at the beginning of the season, but it is now. I just think that Brad Holmes has got us moving in the right direction. Same with Dan Campbell. He is, like I said, he makes some bonehead mistakes sometimes, but that's going to happen, I think, and he's learning from it. But what do you guys think about Brad Holmes? The guy is a beast at drafting. He's just drafting beasts. I'm gonna get into the comments here real quick. Zay Speak. Truth says he likes Houston. I like Houston. No late. What's good? Oh, no worries for being late here. Who's you gotty? Sunday is a must win. Let's touch on that. I think they're all must wins. We have somehow after starting 1-6 set ourselves up to potentially go on a run and get into the playoffs. Yes, the playoffs. Yes, we might be able to make the playoffs. Let's get into it. Let's touch on it. Must win on Sunday. And, I definitely don't think that we have a chance at winning the division. Minnesota would have to lose every single game. We'd have to win every single game. Minnesota wins one more game. They're the division champs. But we got to win this one Sunday. We got to win the next one. We got to win out. If we win out, we're giving ourselves, I think they said, an 86 to 89% chance of making the playoffs, and that's pretty good. I looked at a lot of the other teams' schedules. Excuse me. And I think we really do have a good chance here. New York's got a tough schedule. They got the Eagles, the Commanders, the Vikings, Colts, and then the Eagles again. I'm thinking they're losing most of those. The Commanders got the Giants, the Niners, the Browns, and Cowboys. The Giants and the Commanders one of them is going to have to beat each other. But other than that, I think they're losing most of those. We got the Seahawks. They just beat the Rams. The Panthers, but the Panthers are not going to be an easy win for anybody. Then they got the 49ers, the Chiefs, the Jets, and the Rams. And then the Lions. We got the Vikings, the Jets, the Panthers, Bears, and Packers. I think out of all of the teams that I just named schedules, I think that we got the easiest route. Now, I know it's not going to be easy because every NFL game, it's never just a walkthrough unless you're playing the old Lions back in the day. But, I think we do have the schedule right now to make a run. If we win this on Sunday, we're looking great. I really hope that they start Zach Wilson against us in New York. But if we get those two, we're looking real good. Of course, that Packers game at the end of the season always kind of lingers there and is like, oh, man. But did you see what Dan Orlovsky tweeted? He's getting way ahead of himself. Now, I love Dan, but Dan said if we win against Minnesota and the Jets, we're in the playoffs. Just like that. Don't even care about the last few games. We're in the playoffs if we win those two. Dan, you're getting ahead of yourself. We have to win 3 more at least. But there is a good chance that we can still get in the playoffs if we lose 1 out of these last 5 games. Out of these last 6 games. So, But I got to elaborate on this, that Commanders and freaking Giants game where they tied. Oh, my God, does that hurt? The playoff implications right there. Because if we finish 9-8 and either one of them finishes 9-7-1, that tiebreaker that we have the advantage of over them is out the window. They get in over us because they tied. It's frustrating. I'm going to look back in these comments real quick. I'm going to see what we got because we got people going. Ooh, let's see. Ball out JMO. Like a Michigan native warrior. Yeah, let's go. Rams sign Baker. That is hilarious. Yes. Let's just touch on that real quick. I love it. I don't think he's going to do any better than their backup there. He's just going to keep destroying the Rams. He's just getting closer to Hollywood. Baker needs to go and act. He needs to just do commercials, maybe get in a movie. I mean, we'll see, but I love the move that the Rams signed him. That just means to me that they're probably going to keep losing and we're just going to get a better draft pick. I don't know. That's the way that I see it. Now, let's see. Okay. Yeah, my name is Nick. It's okay, Lions Mania. It's all right. Whew. Yeah, I think we touched. Lions win out 42% chance. I saw somewhere it was 86 if we win all the way. But let's just win out and it doesn't matter. And then everything will play out on its own. All right, well, I'm going to talk some quarterback talk here. A lot of us, we were talking about it earlier. A lot of us wrote off Jared Goff last year, and then we started liking him at the beginning of the season. And then the start of the year, a lot of people, they were liking him, like, oh, Jared Goff, not doing so bad. And then up until last game, a lot of people were calling for his head once again. Now, right now, we're set up with the 4th and the 15th overall pick. A lot of us want to take a quarterback with one of these picks or our very first pick. And I see a lot of the mocks having us taking the Kentucky quarterback, the Ohio State quarterback, or if, Young falls to us from Alabama, we're taking him. Now, with the way that Goff has been playing, at least the last game, do we still take our quarterback of the future? Dan Campbell, He's looking like he loves Jared Goff. He's commented this a few times. He said this right after the game in the press conference. He said, "Our quarterback played as good as you could play." Now, with that statement and Jared Goff's history with Brad Holmes, do you think the Lions pull the trigger on a quarterback with one of their first 2 picks? Do you think that we should? Jared Goff is only 28 years old. He's got a lot of time left in his career, and he might just keep getting better. I mean, he's with the right offensive coordinator right now. That's all I got to say. And if they stay together, things could be good, but I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are. I think Jared Goff is having a Pro Bowl career. He's having a great year. I love what Goff is doing. I think he's doing much better than last year. Of course, there's those moments where Goff's being Goff, where he just throws it straight to the other team, and you're like, what the heck? But there have not even been as close to as many of those this year as there were last year. Let's see. I believe Jared Goff is the answer for us long-term, Lions Mania. You know, like I said, he's only 28 years old, and if you look around the league, a lot of other quarterbacks are playing into their late 30s, and if you're Tom Brady, you're playing into your mid-40s. But, you know, Goff, to me, he's done this everywhere he went. At Cal, his very first year, I think they won 1 game with him as quarterback. His second year, they improved. They went to a bowl game. When he was with the Rams, they were absolutely horrendous his first year with them. The next year, he's in the Pro Bowl. Come on. First year with the Lions, end of the year, pretty good. This year, much better. I think we definitely need to give him a third year, whether we draft a QB or not, because there's no way, with the way that we're building right now, that we should take a step back and have a rookie QB step in, because he's unproven. We have a proven quarterback right now who knows how to run the system. He's doing fine with it. He's definitely not in the bottom tier of quarterbacks, and we can either start him and have him mentor a quarterback, or we can just get rid of Goff, bring in a free agent who you don't know what he's going to do, or you just start your rookie who's unproven and we don't know what we get. So that's why I personally think we keep Goff at least for another year, see what happens. But yeah, do we still draft our quarterback of the future in this draft? You know, I've seen a lot of mocks, and I'm not really liking a lot of what I see right around there. But I would personally, with our first pick, I hope we go defense. I hope we just stack that defense. Our offense, when healthy, is going to look good. Goff's proven he can run the system pretty well. And so, yeah, I don't think right now, with the way we've been playing towards the end of the season, I personally wouldn't draft a quarterback with my first 2 picks. But I want to see what you guys think. I'm going to look right now. Let's see. The only QB I would be willing to consider to draft would be Will Levis, but that's just me. And, you know, and so the mock that I saw today, they had him going before us, and then we got CJ Stroud, and I would not want CJ at all. I'm just going to throw that out. Sorry if you're an Ohio State fan. I don't want CJ. The Ohio State quarterbacks, besides Justin Fields, haven't proven to be anything, and Justin Fields is really only a running threat. I mean, he can throw the ball. You know, he can throw the ball. He's a quarterback, but he's more of a threat on his feet. So, you know, I don't want anything to do with Ohio State quarterbacks still. Okay, you can win with Goff, go defense, maybe next year QB, depending on how he does. You know, I definitely like that. I think that we can even hold out on this draft. We got McCaffrey at Michigan looking great right now. You know, we could wait a few years, maybe get him, because Goff's only 28. Like I said, he's young. But yeah, do I want Rodgers? Hell no. No, I don't want anything to do with that crooked-eyed guy. I don't want anything to do with Aaron Rodgers. He needs a haircut. He needs to wash his hair. I know he can throw the ball. He's good. As a Lions fan, I can't stand his face. I don't want him in a Lions uniform ever. And I'm going to answer a question to you guys who say, what about Tom Brady? Nope, don't want him either. Nope, don't want him. Too old. He does fine, but I just don't want Tom Brady. I don't. It's the only reason. Don't even really have an explanation other than I don't want Tom Brady on the Lions. But yeah, that's just my opinion. You guys can have your own. Jalen Carter, that's, hey, not bad. There's many ways we can go with this. We could use our second pick and trade up to get a guy that we want, but I don't think that we should. We're sitting prime with that 4 and 15. Those are two great first round picks, and I trust Brad Holmes. If he goes quarterback, I'm with it. Doesn't matter to me. He sees the future. His picks so far have been money, right on point, and I just trust the guy. That's where I'm going with that. But yeah, Lamar Jackson. Okay, that's another guy. Now, Lamar just got hurt, and he was a guy earlier in the season when he did state, I do believe that he said that the Lions were one of the teams that he would definitely go to. Now, Lamar is a proven winner. He's an MVP, but he's never made it to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff made it to a Super Bowl. But I love that he's mobile. He would get us out of a few situations. That safety probably would have never happened during the Bills game. So Lamar could be a weapon, but honestly, I'm not willing to pay him I'm not willing to pay him to be the highest paid quarterback in the league here in Detroit. So if he's willing to take a lot less money than what says he's requesting and come here and just want to win, yeah, sure, Lamar Jackson all day. But I just see him wanting big time money, and so in that case, I don't see us getting him. But let's talk about one more thing. Here, I'm gonna elaborate on this before. Check Goff's stats. Top 10. Absolutely correct. If you check his stats, the guy, he's having a great year. He's having a career year. Now, I don't know about his best in his career, but he's feeling better than ever is what he said. And I just don't think, especially if we keep Johnson as the offensive coordinator, if he stays with us, that's another subject to touch on. I think you got to keep Goff because those two are just clicking right now. The system's working. They know each other. They work together. If Ben Johnson's there, you keep Goff. That's just what I say. And, that's another thing. Ben Johnson getting a lot of praise around the league. I hope for our sake he stays our offensive coordinator. But, he might end up somewhere else after this season. But, yeah, I want to touch on something. This coming Sunday, we got the Minnesota Vikings. We already talked about it, but something crazy came out today. This absolutely blows my mind. The 5-7 Lions, yes, the 5-7 Detroit Lions are now favored by Vegas to beat the 10-2 Minnesota Vikings. Yes, we are the favored team to win this Sunday, and I love it. They're just starting to recognize what we're doing here. We play well at home. Our defense is stepping up big time. And if we can play like we have the last, 5-6 games, I think we walk away with this W. We almost beat them the first game. If we don't have the miscommunication on defense, and there was plenty of other things that happened, but that last play where they walked into the touchdown easy, that should have never happened. And I think this time it's not going to happen. I think we win this game. I'm calling a W right now. And you know what? I think that we got the team to win out. I'm going to say it right here. I think it's going to come down to that last game against the Packers like it usually does. And, it doesn't usually. Last few years we've been off. But when it has mattered to win the division, to get into the playoffs, to get playoff seeding during the Caldwell era pretty much, it's always come down to that last game between us and the Packers. And I think this year, if we get to that spot, if we got to focus on Sunday first, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but if we get there, I think Dan Campbell is the guy to turn the tide, and we do it this year. But yeah, that's all I got to say. I want you guys to sound off in the comments. What do you guys think about our chances going to the playoffs this year? If you got any questions for me, let me know. I will answer them. I see one right now. So Goff is better than Rodgers? No, I don't know if you're asking me that or if you guys are going against each other here. I personally never said Goff is better than Rodgers. I just personally don't want to see Rodgers in a Lions uniform. I'm a diehard Detroit fan. I don't like Aaron Rodgers. I don't like his face. I don't like the colors of uniforms that he wears right now. You know, he can just, for all I care, he can retire and go do ayahuasca the rest of his life. That's I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers in a Lions uniform. But yeah, everybody, that's going to do it pretty much for my first episode here today. If you guys want to chime in real quick. Okay, no, not you. That's all right. I just had to let my opinion be known anyways. But yeah, you guys, that's the first episode of Touchdown Detroit Lions. I'll stick around for a few more minutes if you guys got some questions for me. Other than that, I enjoyed my time with you guys today. This is going to be here every single Tuesday. It'll get better each week. I'll let you know I had a soundboard with some sound effects that was supposed to happen today, but the program kind of crashed like 5 minutes before I started and said it was going to be 3 hours till it booted back up. So yeah, a little technical difficulties, but next week it'll be much better. We're just learning here. I appreciate every single one of you guys. I hope you come back with me next week. Here we go. We got a question. Do you think Goff is still a top 10 QB next season without Ben Johnson? Woo. You know, no, I don't. I don't. So, you know, I think that Goff needs a little bit of time to learn a system. I think Ben Johnson took what we already had in place and kind of elaborated with it. Now, if they had, all right, so I'm kind of wishy-washy on this, I guess. If they brought in a coordinator, or maybe Dan Campbell takes over as coordinator and kind of knows the system, then yeah, I think Jared Goff stays the same. But if they bring in a new guy, new system, no, absolutely not. Jared Goff is not going to be top 10 quarterback. I think Ben Johnson just knows what he's knows what he's doing. Besides, you know, I don't want to rehash this, but there was a 3rd and 1 that we went for deep. I didn't like that call. The coaches liked it. It was an underthrow by Goff. We all know the one that went to Shark. It was a terrible 3rd and 1 play call. Other than that, you know, I think he gets a little too, you know, cute sometimes, whatever you want to say, trying to be the next big offensive coordinator who's out here doing his own thing. You know, I got my own mind. I pass on 3rd and 1. You know, I think he tries to do that sometimes too much, but I think he's great. And I think him and Goff together make Goff a top 10. With Dan Campbell there, I see Goff maybe, if he's still running the same plays, Goff's 12 to 14 quarterback. Question. I like that though. Hold on. Ken McWise, Ben Johnson ain't going anywhere after only 1 year. I hope not. And I completely agree. It looks like he loves where he's at. You know, he was just the QB he was a much smaller role last year. I think he's going to stay here another year. You got to build up a resume before you become a head coach, and to be an offensive coordinator in the league is a big time role. And I think that him and Dan Campbell have great chemistry. They have history. Him and Goff have history. I think Ben Johnson stays and they go out and they try to make some real big time noise next year. And if he's there with Goff, I think Goff stays top 10. All right, we got another question. Do you think the Lions win Sunday? Absolutely, I do. I definitely think the Lions win on Sunday. I know it's going to be a tough game, but we're at home. We almost got them on the road in Minnesota. I know we're both two different teams now, but I think our defense is playing much better, and we put up 30-plus points at home. I think we're winning this 100%. It's not going to be easy, but I do think the Lions pull this win out. Let's see. Does the normal host on this channel get a little mad at times? You know, Derek's my boy. I don't know. He's the man. He hooked me up with this position, and I can't say enough great things about him. We all get mad at the Lions, don't we? I get really mad at the Lions. You should watch a game with me. As a matter of fact, I might go live during one of the games, and you'll see exactly how I act. But, you know, I guess I'm more one of the optimistic Lions fan. I like to look on the positive side, but at the same time, I will rag on the Lions all dang day. That's a funny question, though. Yes, and Joe Lombardi is definitely proof you need to pick the right offensive coordinator for the job. I am so glad he does not have anything to do with the Lions anymore. And let's talk about that. Joe Lombardi on prime time with the Saints. I mean, get them off the TV. The Lions are way more entertaining than a ton of these teams right now. We deserve a prime time game, but I kind of like it how we're under the radar. We're the underdogs. Everybody's looking over us. We got the chip on our shoulder. Forget about us, because we're silently coming to take those kneecaps, baby. That's just how I feel. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, guys, that's going to do it hey, hold on. We got some other things. Sometimes teams around the league get desperate for a head coach though, right? They definitely do, and I think, Ben Johnson is a good, candidate to become a head coach this year. I think there's going to be some other ones who just have more of a high profile that teams will go with. At least I hope. I hope he kind of flies under the radar. But if he doesn't, we got to move on and we got to roll with the punches. That's just how it goes. Injuries happen. Coaches leave, go to different teams. We just got to find a new way to win. But like you guys said, I'm thinking Ben Johnson's staying. I'm thinking that he's staying. Michelle Peterson says Lions win 27-24. That's a great number. That's my old address. So that, I like that. But I think we're scoring over 30 again. We're at home. I'm going 38-33. 38-33. The defense going to have to hold them off at the end. 38-33. All right. That's going to do it for me today, everybody. I'm going to get going. I keep saying that, and then I keep seeing comments. 38-20. Yes, love it. Love it. Lions D, 4 sacks, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. Goff with 2 TD passes. Jamal Williams with 3 running touchdowns. Holy crap. I'm liking this. Here we go. Who said that? Ken, you can come watch a Lions game with me anytime. Let's go. All right, everybody. If you haven't done so already, be sure to like this video, share, subscribe to Syndicate Sports Detroit to make sure that you stay up to date when we go live. When we post a new video, you'll get the notification. I love you guys. I love the Lions. Until next time, everybody, my name's Nick Harkson with Touchdown Detroit Lions. Peace.